He said, it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. Well, it's only been 7 days, but here we are. Welcome back to season 4 of Wind Down Wednesday with my Lady of the Week. Aren't you guys glad that they released Aaliyah's music after 20 years? Man. And I swear these songs have withstood the test of time. Hey, dust yourself off and try it again. That's what you got to do. You just got to dust yourself off and try again. Listen, this week's Wind Down Wednesday is all about closing the deal in real estate. My Lady of the Week is a powerhouse in the real estate profession. But give me a sec and I'll bring it into the wine room. But I'm going to give y'all a sec so y'all can get on in here so I can say hello to everyone. Let's see. Hey, Alex. Of course, Mr. Alex, my makeup artist. He's here in the wine room. You guys go follow him at MUA Alex with what? Y'all know the drill. 2X. Make sure you guys go follow him. And also, I did a video about my hair. I posted not long ago. So I want to shout out my hairstylist, Miss Lanisha Bradley. You guys can find her at Lanny B as in Bravo, the stylist. Make sure you guys give her some love as well. All right, let's see who's coming on in here. Hey, Kalia at KSW Social Media. Thank you, doll. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Come on in here. The They Envy Nelly has joined us. Hi. Hey, lady. Hey, Fit with 3. Hey, Claudine. Hey, lady. Look at you. Let's see who else. Oh, Adrian, my BKATL beauty has joined us in the wine room. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, Lanisha is amazing, right? I'm loving my new haircut. So, guys, yes, I said this week's live is called Closing the Deal, and it's about entrepreneurship and real estate. A lot of times I am on social media and I'm looking for women who resonate with the Hey Lady brand. They're either into fashion, travel, or entrepreneurship, or sometimes all three. So I'm like always lurking to see who's out there so that I can feature you as my Lady of the Week. And quite simply, that's how I found this week's Lady of the Week. So if you guys give me a second, I'm going to bring her in the wine room, but you know the drill. Let's raise our glasses. Clink, clink, clink. And let's have a great conversation. You guys make sure you sip your wine too. Don't let it go to waste. We never let wine go to waste. Oh, hey, Mom. My mom has joined us. She is at imani.richardson.792. Y'all go give her some love over there as well. Okay, my Lady of the Week is Miss Cheryl Taylor, and I am waiting for her to send her request. Let me see if I can find her so we can get this party started. Hey, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us on time, too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see who else we have. All right, Cheryl, where are you?
I am here.
There you are. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
How are you?
I am good. A little nervous, but I'm good.
Don't be nervous, darling. Don't be nervous. It's just two girls chatting. That's all.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You know, I'm a little shy until people get to know me. So I'm a little nervous doing my first live. So.
Oh, welcome to the wine room. So look, we're going to calm those nerves. Where's your glass, Cheryl?
It is right here.
All right. Clink, clink.
I got it.
Make sure you take a little sip.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to get started. So don't worry about it. It'll be fun, okay? I promise you. All right. So before we get started, as I always like to do, could you please introduce yourself? Tell everyone who you are and where you're from.
Yes, ma'am. I am Cheryl Taylor. I reside here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am an associate broker over at Palmer House Properties, and I am from Birmingham, Alabama. So I've been in Atlanta 17 years now.
Wonderful. Wait, did y'all hear what she said? What powerhouse? And that is exactly what you are. Okay, so I was reading your bio, and your bio said that you are in the top 5% of realtors in Atlanta, Cheryl. So how does someone who claims to be shy get into the 5% of realtors in Atlanta? Please share.
Well, I've been doing this for 17 years. So it's a lot of dedication and hard work. A lot of times you're working 7 days a week. But I have found clients that trust my expertise, like to work with me. And once they get to know me, I'm not quiet at all. So in that transaction, as you can see on my page, we're doing our little boomerang dance at the closing.
Yes.
So it's just a lot of hard work and clients just trusting you with those referrals and constantly getting new clients. So hard work.
Okay. And I know that your parents were also or are also entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And so you said you've been doing this for 17 years. What was it that drew you to real estate?
Well, I always thought about real estate, but never dabbed in it. My dad, still to this day, owns a real estate company. I remember as a little girl, me and my two sisters in the back seat while he would drive around and collect rent checks. And he still has his brokerage today. He's really don't do much, but he still has it. So I've worked for a couple of different companies in my lifetime, and Bell South was probably my last major company. And I got fired. And I decided I didn't like that feeling that I would really never get fired again. And so after I got my degree, of course, I knew I always wanted to live in Atlanta because it was close to my family. I didn't have to go too far away having a little one with me, which is my daughter. So it was in the plans, but it was never the right time to move. And so once my sister moved over here, I was like, there's my opportunity. I have someone there that can help me. I think my daughter may have been 6 or 7 at the time when we made the move. And so it was just natural. So speaking with one of my best friends one day, I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I like working with people. And so we looked at a new home community one Saturday and got to talking to the agent. And I was like, you know, my dad's always done real estate. He's always talked to me about it. And, you know, it just clicked. The flexibility that I would have and the money that I wanted to make was a possibility in that industry. And so 17 years ago, did the quick test in 30 days, where I went in and did the, we call it accelerated course, and got my license. So I moved over. Actually, we were still in Alabama, and I came over and did the 1 month course. And once I passed it and finished the course, then I moved my daughter over and started school. So basically, it was just something that I knew I can get into, be pretty good at it. My degree is in communications, so I always tell people, I got a degree in communications. I wanted to be in PR marketing. And everybody's like, but yeah, you're still doing something with your degree, which is communication. So I think it was just trying to put that piece to the puzzle, and it was a no-brainer that real estate was the idea for me. Now, I still haven't went into the portion that my dad wanted me to go into as far as having renters, but that's something that I have not just put on the back burner and just said forget about it. It's just never been the right time for me, but very shortly I'm going to branch off into that aspect of it as well.
Okay, so I want to touch on a couple of things that you just mentioned. You said you got fired. And you never wanted to have that feeling again.
Correct.
Right? You said you were a single mother making this transition, right? And then lastly, your dad was also in the industry. And so one of the things, as far as this platform, that I always like to preach to the people that follow Hey Lady is that entrepreneur side. Right? And that feeling, like you said, of never wanting to be fired again. That is what entrepreneurship is about you setting your own destiny so that you never have to feel what Cheryl said, that feeling of being fired. But also, Cheryl, there was something in you that didn't allow fear to stifle you from making that move with your daughter. Can you maybe touch on what that's like for a lot of people that kind of have that fear when they have to pivot to something new?
Well, I think that basically because I've watched my parents for many of years, my mom ran a floral shop that she recently retired, and she's still doing it for a few select clients. And they have an event center. So it was just, I think I never wanted to be a failure. Mm-hmm. And so even when I was at Bell South, when I got fired, I was one of the top salespeople that they had. And so for me, I had a daughter watching. And so that was a major thing for me, that I knew I wanted to live a certain lifestyle. I didn't want to have to depend on anybody to do that. And so with the little one behind me, I think that just kind of put that, what do they call it? The little engine that could, that kind of made my engine go, where I wanted her to see me being successful. Entrepreneurship is not going to be for everyone, because it is a hustle. And that's why I say, as a kid, my dad going to collect rent checks. So it is something that you kind of have to pour your heart into 24/7. And you have to have a network of people that support you, that will listen to you, because we do quite a bit have people in the business, because people outside of the business don't understand. So my parents were very supportive of me making that move. My sister here, she was supportive in helping me, because my daughter was 7 years old. And I can say, from the time that I got in the business, my daughter was kind of in the business with me. So even 17 years later, I have clients that before they even ask about me when I'm talking to them, they're asking about my daughter. Yeah. So at 7 years old, she was opening up the lockbox, letting people in the houses. And so that's what our life consists of. It was constantly me always working, because you're always chasing your pay in this business. So thank God I'm at a position now after 17 years where I am able to not have to chase a deal. But there are times we went through the recession, which was probably the hardest thing that we had to do. But I was able to stay in the business full time. I switched over and started doing BPOs because I knew I wanted to stay in the real estate industry.
Okay, hold up. What's a BPO?
It is a broker price opinion.
Okay, girl, good look.
So let me actually back up.
Okay.
It is, for everyone would understand, it's kind of like doing an appraisal. You're going out taking pictures, and it's called broker price opinion because the broker is giving their opinion of the property, of the price of it.
Got it.
And of course, when the recession hit, we had a lot of foreclosures, a lot of short sale. So that market had gotten a little busy. I probably was sleeping maybe 5 or 6 hours a day, just so I can maintain. At that point, we had just bought our house, and I probably hit the recession right after I moved in, a couple of months after that. So it was always, for me, the hustle part, because I had a little one that I had to take care of. Right. And with my family's support, I didn't get any child support or anything. So it was just mainly me and her. And I knew what I needed to do to make sure that I succeeded in that.
So what's interesting in your story is that if you didn't get fired, none of this would have happened. You still would have been chasing somebody else's dream, because, you know, they have their company. And when you work for somebody else, you're really chasing someone else's dream. And I always tell people, your employer is never going to pay you enough to live next door to her.
Most definitely.
So that is why I preach entrepreneurship. Okay, Cheryl, there are a lot of realtors in Atlanta. What separates you, and what why would I want you to either help me buy or sell my house versus the others that are there?
Okay. There are a lot of realtors here in Atlanta. With me, I am constantly getting education. I'm constantly bettering myself. I just got my broker license, so I will let the head out the bag. I am in the process of opening my own brokerage.
Wait. So, is this the first time you're telling everybody this?
Yes, it is. The cat is out the
Y'all
bag.
heard it here first. Awesome. Okay.
So, And people have asked me for the longest, you know, why aren't you a broker? Why don't you have your own company? And I'm simple. I like everything to be simple. So for me, it was, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I didn't want the responsibilities of having my own company, being responsible for someone. But it was thrown out to me this year. Our company got bought out by another company. And so in the midst of me fussing about it, because I actually love Palmer House Properties, look at my clients. I'm looking at the comments. My clients are in here.
I love it.
Thank you, thank you. So, you know, once the company got bought out, they was like, nothing is going to change. And we're like, okay. We found out we got bought out, you know, at the same time they let everybody know. And at that point, it was like, you know what? I didn't want to, but I had always said, if I left Palmer House Properties, I will be doing my own thing. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it kind of gave me that push because it wasn't something I wanted to do. I've been in the business 17 years and never wanted to go get my broker license. So when that happened, it pushed me out there and I went and got my broker license.
Okay, so I'm hearing a theme with you. I'm hearing that it seems like it takes something drastic to happen before you make a move that you not necessarily want to do, but kind of that you're forced to do. But what I love is that you're open to the move, you know, mm-hmm. where a lot of people are stuck in their ways and they're like, no, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to keep doing. You're mm-hmm. able to once again pivot to something else. So I love that. That's encouraging. Okay, so what is it about real estate? I know you mentioned, you know, that feeling of being able to give a first-time home buyer their keys. What is that for you? What does that feel like for you?
It feels amazing. You know, being a real estate agent, you're dealing with real estate, you're dealing with leases for the agents that go into leasing. You're also dealing with commercial property. I'm mainly a residential agent. Okay. So, you know, you're dealing with the biggest transaction a person will ever make in their life. Yeah. And that is a big deal. And so in doing that, you know, my first time home buyers, I just had 2 young guys under the age of 30 last week purchase their home, and they were both first time home buyers. And that feeling from them was just amazing. I posted their video, and my review that I do is kind of brief, but just the feeling from the first time that I talked to them in the consultation of them wanting to get their own property. So it's just a feeling that you can't really describe. Mm-hmm. But it's just the overwhelming great feeling because home ownership is major. So I'm always preaching home ownership. And that was one of the reasons I did it 15 years ago, because I wanted my daughter to have that house. And so even with my clients that are selling their properties, it's just that great feeling that I am able, with my marketing techniques, I won't go into detail on that.
Right. But I'm give all the secret sauce away.
Yes, right. I'm able to break records and, you know, set sale prices in neighborhoods. And so I've got clients walking away with major benefits right now that they would not have gotten if they decided to do some of the iBuyers that are, you know, bombarding. People are getting phone calls every day, postcards. You can't go on social media if you look at a house. Now, hey, do you want to sell your house? And so, you know, going the route of having a real estate agent and one that's knowledgeable of the market, that was one of the things, the reason that I did do the BPOs, because a lot of people left the business. But for me, I didn't want to leave it. Doing those BPOs allowed me to dig a little deeper into real estate and really tackle my market. So I live in South Fulton, and I know South Fulton by the back of my hand, just from me taking that knowledge of doing the BPOs. And so just being in real estate, it is just a feeling that you cannot describe when your client is getting those keys, especially for the first time home buyers.
So how are you able to set realistic expectations? Because everybody wants the maximum price for their home, right? Mm-hmm. And then on the other side, they want to pay the least amount for the home. So how are you able to set realistic expectations for your clients?
Well, that is set initially, and sometimes clients falter on that expectation. I like to let my clients know upfront in that initial consultation. If they're buyers, especially in this market right now, they have to have patience. And that is the only way. I've had clients come into the market and they come back out of the market. Atlanta is a wonderful real estate market. We have people constantly moving here. And so in a lot of other parts of the country, around this time, we're getting ready to go into the holidays, people aren't really buying homes. Well, Atlanta, they're still buying. They're like, I'm going to be in my house for Thanksgiving. I'm going to be in my house for Christmas and host, the family. And so we still have people that are constantly relocating. So that helps our market as well. And so, it's kind of hard setting expectations where they'll get it. I like to show data. And when my sellers, they listen to me, the data that I'm providing for them on the seller side, they're listening. And when they're listening, they're able, if they do exactly what I tell them to do, they're going to get way more for their house. Even before the market turned, I was able to get them, set records in subdivisions. I'm also a foreclosure agent, a HUD agent as well. And I branched over into that when the market did tank. And so I'm able to actually look at real estate from every aspect of the market. And so that kind of helps a little bit. But there are times that, I'm still having to pull my teeth just a little bit because they didn't get it that first time, when I'm like, hey, this is where you want to be. And, they send me another house that's not exactly where we need to be. And so I'm having to drill it sometimes just a little bit more. So each client is different. And that's what I'm trying to get all clients to understand. When you hired me, you hired the best. I'm constantly doing education. I've got my seller's designation, which allows me to be a better seller's agent. I've got my buyer designation, which helps me be a better buyer agent. I'm getting ready to do my military designation, so I can help the veterans, in theirs. I also have my ePro, which is for technology and doing the digital electronically. So if they listen, which 99% of them do, the transaction is smooth and we're able to go through without any hiccups. Every now and then I have to just pull them back just a little bit and just repeat again sometimes for them to understand.
Gotcha. So how has COVID affected inventory in real estate right now?
Well, in Atlanta, the market has still been thriving even with COVID. Our inventory is down because our sellers have nowhere to go. For the buyers, not buyers, but for the sellers that have been a little, they see what's going on. And so they're jumping out and they're like, hey, let me find something else. My last two sellers went into temporary housing until they get their findings, just so they can get their six-figure checks. And so, some sellers is a little hard because they're going to sell their house, but they have nowhere to go. I just did some renovations on my home, and my mom was like, are you getting ready to put your house on the market? I'm like, no, where am I going to go for what I paid? I'm almost done paying for mine, so I don't plan on going anywhere unless I get married really soon. But it's all about them just listening. With our inventory, I'm going to say it's hard. It's very hard.
So we're still in a seller's market then?
We are. We are definitely in a seller's market. We do see it turning a little bit. I'm getting a little more emails letting me know about some inventory that's coming up. What I've been doing for my sellers, some sellers have been a little nervous because COVID is here and people walking through. I've been doing open houses, and I've had colleagues was like, well, why are you doing an open house? Well, that open house allowing my clients just on those 1 or 2 days on the weekend to let everybody come in during that time frame. Mm-hmm. Now you're able to disinfect your home when they leave instead of you trying to disinfect every single day. So my clients love it. It draws up anticipation on the house. They get to see all these other people standing outside the house waiting to come in. And so that helps drive up the price just a little bit as well. With COVID, it has not been great for buyers. They have been having to put in multiple offers on properties just to win one. I've had a couple of buyers, you know, like, hey, I'm going to come back in the market in a couple of weeks. I have a closing tomorrow where that particular buyer, she started a couple of months before COVID. Once COVID hit, they kind of shut down just a tad bit, and then she came back in the market. And at this point, she actually got a better house than what we were looking at originally. So the market is still good for buyers because the interest rate is low. Buyers,
what is the interest rate right now? What is the interest rate right now?
Some buyers.
Is that your dog?
That's my daughter's dog.
In on the live. It's okay.
That's my daughter's dog. She just moved back home.
That's why it's live, y'all. It's live. Right.
So that's Miss Chloe barking. So right now, some buyers are able to get 2%.
Wow.
I've got some buyers that's been getting 3% in the threes, but those buyers have not been paying their own down payment. They've been doing my 100% financing program.
Wow.
And so they've been in the threes. And I'm going to say there are some people that can get in the twos, but it's probably going to be the high twos. And you need to be above the 740 mark to get that.
That's what I was going to ask you. What is the range in the credit score between the twos and the high threes? What are we looking at?
Well, my last client was a 3.5, and that was doing the 100% financing program. So if you're over the 740 mark, you may can get a 2.7, 2.8. Rates change multiple times a day. And so when you get your pre-approval letter, initially it'll have an amount on there, but you can't lock that rate in until you found the house and went under contract. If you're building, you're looking at a 30, 45 day window when you're getting ready to close before you can lock your rate in. And so it constantly changes throughout the day.
Okay. So as we talk about like closing the deal, what are some things that people should avoid doing prior to going to closing?
Do not buy a new car. Do not buy any new furniture. Do not miss any payments at all. If you miss a payment, they want to see another 6 to 9 months.
Wow.
If you miss a payment, it can drop you anywhere from 50 plus credit points. So those are definitely things to do not do. Do not quit your job. Some people feel because I'm under contract and I got my approval letter, that's it. I had a closing one day, got my commission check, and for some reason, and they do it, I'm not sure why they did it so late, they're going to check your employment again sometime the day of closing, and that's what they did. She had probably been gone maybe 2 or 3 weeks at this point.
Wow.
So they were like, can you shred that commission check? The loan has just been denied. And they signed documents and everything. So that is major. Do not quit your job. If you're going to switch fields, wait until after you have closed to do that. When I bought my house, I wanted to trade my car in. After I closed, the next day, I went and traded my car in.
After you
you don't want to mess with your ratios. Some people, if they got a brand new car, it may not affect their ratios. But for a lot of people, it will affect your debt to income ratio. Okay. And that new payment can totally wipe you out from getting your car. So I
Is there a
wait till we
sweet
do
spot
everything.
when it comes to that debt to income ratio? What's the sweet spot? Is it 30%, 20%? What are they looking for?
It varies. So it's
Okay.
going to depend on the loan that you have. I think FHA allows you a little more room than conventional does, and with VA. So I don't know the numbers. I always leave that part to my lenders to tell me, but it is definitely going to be, I'm going to say probably in the 30s to the 40 range.
Okay.
Of the debt. Student loans, we just got a great thing that the government did. Before they were calculating 1% of the student loans, but now they're doing 0.5% of your total. So the main thing is do not open any new credit unless the lender tells you to do that to actually get your score up.
Okay.
Do not miss any payments. Do not co-sign or even sign for anything, furniture or anything at all. So I tell my clients to wait till you're in and then start shopping. But you know, we get excited when you're under contract and you got your approval letter, you know, picked out this beautiful home.
They're ready to put that furniture in there.
Right. You go furniture shopping, they're like, hey, we'll give you 24 months with no interest, da 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 da. And we're like, hey, don't do that. So yes. Also, I would say in the debt ratio, and I'm going to break away from that a little bit, we also have stated loan programs out for entrepreneurs and business owners now.
Oh, so they brought that back? Because I know at one time they got rid of that, right?
They did, and they brought it back, but only entrepreneurs and business owners can do it. If you don't have a business, you can't. And so that is a great program for a lot of business owners. But what a lot of business owners don't understand as well is you're having to do 10% of that down payment. So if you're looking at a $700,000 house, you've got to come to the table with $70,000. That's how I bought my house 15 years ago. And when I bought, I only had to show 3 months of bank statements.
Oh, wow.
That
so what is it
contributes to the
now?
recession. 12 to 24 months.
Oh, wow.
It's a good thing for business owners because with our business owners, entrepreneurs, a lot of them are writing off on their income taxes. To keep us from paying off the sales so much.
Right.
But, you know, once they write off, their adjusted gross is $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. And so it's hindering them from buying a house. I just had a client we had to terminate. One of his tax returns he provided was negative $18,000.
Wow. Oh, he just decided he was just going to write everything off. He wrote off cotton balls. He wrote off toilet paper.
I've never seen it that low. And I'm like, hey, we're close to January. So that's the beauty of it. The next year, he showed $80,000 in income. So I'm like, well, we're close to January. Just go ahead and wait till the beginning of the year, file again, and just do that 80, you know, in that range again, and then we'll be close to you being able to close. But definitely that is another program that we have out there. You do have to have excellent credit for it. Right now, you just need a 620 to purchase, but anytime that you want financial assistance as far as Georgia Dream, Invest Atlanta, any of the 100% programs, you have to move up a little bit to the 640 range. You can't even be at 620.
Wow. Are y'all getting all these gems that she has just dropped on y'all? I hope you are. I hope you've been paying attention. Okay, sure. So I only have a couple of questions left for you.
Okay.
So knowing that the market is saturated with a lot of agents, there's some person who's wanting to get in. What would you tell them? And how would you tell them the best way to get into the real estate market?
Well, they have to do their education at 75 hours. I said in the classroom, there are some people that can do it online. I will always recommend to go into the classroom. That way you're able to ask the questions that you need to ask. I also recommend once you pass that you take the cram course before you sit for the state exam.
Okay.
Also, I would say once you get into the business, that I would recommend that you probably have about 6 months to a year of savings, just because we are in a business that you don't get paid until you have a closing. And so you can be under contract for a whole year, which I had a client that was. and I didn't get paid until we actually closed.
Wow.
So if you're coming over, make sure you've got your living expenses for at least a minimum 6 months. Everybody thinks once they join the business that, hey, all of your friends are going to come to you. And that's not the case. They want to, it's the biggest transaction of your life that you're doing. And so there are some people that luck up and get those people that come in. But in our groups, we're also seeing people like, hey, my cousin used so-and-so. They didn't call me because they want to know that their business is going to be taken care of. Also, sometimes they don't want to work with you because they feel like you'll be in their business and you'll know too much. And so you can't always depend on those people. So you've seen the little sayings, hey, strangers will support you better than people that you know. And so having at least 6 months minimum of savings to hold you over will be great. I've had deals where I was supposed to have 2 or 3 closings in a week, and it'll happen where just things happen and you can't spend your check before you get it. And, the deal fall apart and now you don't have your income. And so definitely the business is great. Just know also that you're working 7 days a week. A lot of people are in corporate America and they are used to having Saturday off, Sunday off. In our line of work, we're having to force a day off. And, we've had clients get upset that you're deciding to take a day off. It's getting to the point where some of my clients are okay with it because you have to have it. But as real estate agents, it's hard for us to even go on vacation. They'll call you. Hey, I know you're out the country, but can you do this? Can this happen? Can that happen? And so just know that you are constantly working 24/7 until you establish yourself in the business.
Okay. Just to reiterate something you said that struck a chord with me is that, when you open a business, everyone thinks that your friends and your family are going to show up to support you. And oftentimes you get upset because they don't. But to Cheryl's point, especially in real estate, this is the biggest transaction of your life. And even with myself, like I have an insurance practice, and you mentioned how a lot of times your friends and family, they just don't want you in their business. So don't take it personal and know that the more that you do, the kindness of strangers will come along to get you where you need to go. Cheryl, I also want to say this about you. And I don't think that people really understand how powerful social media is. Because that is essentially how you and I connected. I don't know you. We've never met. But what I have seen is your consistency on social media. I've seen you do your showings. I've seen you posting your videos, your closing and all of that. And so you never know who's watching people. So for those of you who are not utilizing your social media, you are really doing yourself a disservice, because I am always looking for women that resonate with the brand, whether you love fashion, travel, or entrepreneurship. And like looking at you, I mean, I literally have sat back for a year, Cheryl, and seen how you have moved on social media. So I just want to say kudos to you. I think what you're doing is phenomenal. Your hard work, your tenacity, all that, it comes through on your social media. So
awesome.
Kudos to you for doing that. So real quick, I just want to go to the audience and see if anybody's got any questions. If you guys have questions or anything, we got the expert here. Go ahead and reach out. But let's see what your people are saying, Cheryl, because they're giving you some love in here.
I did some of my clients. So
yes, nice.
Hi. I did see her.
Yes, we're just going to go ahead and wave to you guys. Oh, somebody said getting fired was truly a blessing. Yes, it was. We turned them lemons into lemonade. So
it was.
Gotta learn to do that. Let's see. I'm just waving to everybody. Cheryl, loyal_consultant said Cheryl is the best. Congratulations.
Yes, they closed with me last fall. So they're coming up on a year, Mrs. Murkison and family. I love them to death.
Lovely. Oh, you got a whole bunch of people in this wine room this evening. This is beautiful. Okay, Cheryl, so my last 2 questions, and then I'm going to let you out of here because nobody is either brave enough to ask any questions or you just answered them all. So we're just going to go with the latter. You answered everything. Okay, so last two questions. What is the best advice ever given to you? Be it professional or personal.
Ooh. 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 I don't know. What can I say? Me and my grandmother would have talks all the time, but it was just life in general.
Okay.
You know, that nobody owed you anything.
Oh, girl, say that again. Hold on. Girl, I say it all the time. Say that again, Cheryl. Say it again.
That nobody owes you anything. So,
I love that. It's so true. Nobody owes you a damn thing. So when people do things for you, be appreciative. You know?
Most definitely.
And what about your favorite quote?
Ooh, my favorite quote. And I don't know if it's a quote. I see some questions popped up. I don't think it's a quote, but I truly live by manifesting the life that I want. And I just started that a couple of years ago by speaking things into existence. And so, you know, I pray on it and then I speak it into existence and I just watch it manifest. So that, I don't know if it's truly a quote, but just
I love it. Yeah, you say speak it into existence. Speak it into existence. Life and tongue, life and death are in the power of the tongue, people.
Amen.
Speak it into existence. I know. Girl, you hit the chord with me tonight because I say the same thing. But you have to believe it when you say it. You know, so it's not just a matter of just throwing words out there. It's really believing what you're putting out there in the universe. So I absolutely love that. Okay, Cheryl, can you, let's see, you said somebody had a question.
Yes, I see a couple of questions there. So I've got John Westbank.
Okay.
He said, why is it hard to buy a house in Georgia when you're living outside the state? Okay. It is not hard, John, to buy one. I just had a client go into contract last month. And she's buying it as a vacation second home. And so you would have to put down at least 10% to do that. But you can't do 100% or even an FHA 3.5 because that's going to be just for owner-occupied buyer. And so it won't be hard. You just have to buy it differently. So give me a call. Go into my link and schedule a consultation for a buyer, and I can discuss that with you. But yeah, we can get it done. I just had clients do it last month. And the fastest time I ever closed on a home.
Because Cheryl, I swear you're closing something every week. Every time I open up your social media, you got the key and you're doing your little boomerang dance. You just closed something. So I'm like, well, damn, this woman is on fire.
Yeah. And you wouldn't believe it. The buyers love the boomerang dance. That is their favorite. There's a few that, you know, like, hey, we ain't gonna do it. But for the most part, they're asking to do it. Like, hey, let's do it. So I did a closing. I think it was about 14 days. It was a cash deal.
Wow.
So you're able to do that with cash once the title is pulled. It's pretty quick.
Okay. All right. All right. Yes. Manifest the life you want to live. That came from They Envy Nelly. Hey, They Envy Nelly. And girl, you've been here from the beginning. So thank you for joining us this
That's my daughter.
Oh, that's your daughter. Hi. Hi.
Yes, that's my baby girl.
Awesome.
So,
awesome. Well, okay, Cheryl, I am not going to keep you. This has been wonderful. And look, Cheryl, we talked for 40 minutes and you talked about, I'm shy. Oh, this is my first time. I can't tell.
I am shy. The people that know me, they probably want me to shut up a little bit because I'm constantly talking. But for anybody new, it takes a little bit for me to get used, and then I'm kind of just talking. But yeah, I am shy.
This was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay,
well,
Cheryl.
I appreciate you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want you to tell everyone where they can find you. Give them your social media handle and give them your website.
Okay. My social media handle is Cheryl Sells Atlanta. I am shy, Mr. Austin. That's one of my loan officers. And my website is www.cheryl, CHERYL, sales, SELLSATL.com.
All right,
y'all. I'm shy. They say I'm not shy. Thank you, Miss Tiffany.
All right, girlfriend. Well, we're going to toast it up. Go on and grab that glass of wine. Cling, cling, cling. And take a sip.
Look at Miss Michelle, my other loan officer. There's some, I'm not shy. That's with them because they know me.
Well, and I can't tell, Cheryl. So you keep doing what you're doing. And
Look, that's why I don't be doing lives, because I'm shy. So I'm going to try now to kind of do some, but that's one of the reasons, because I'm shy.
Absolutely. Well, I expect to see you on your live so that I can come into your live and see what you're talking about. But this was amazing. And I thank you so much for allowing us to feature you as our Lady of the Week. All right, guys, that's it for this week's edition. I will not be here next week because your girl is headed to London tomorrow. So I'm going out the country.
Enjoy.
Yeah, so I will see you guys in 2 weeks. And always remember, being a lady never goes out of style. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you, Cheryl. Bye.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye-bye.